Welcome to Demystifying Gay Porn. My name is Ike Grande, and if you watch gay porn, I've definitely helped you get off. And in the last several years, my guest has as well. You will know him as content creator Masked Jock. How are you, sir?
I'm good.
Yeah?
Yeah, good.
How's everything going?
Excellent.
Okay.
I know. I have no complaints.
I have to thank you very much because I know this was a little last minute, but I'm glad that we were able to put this together. And here we are.
Yeah, this is the first time I've ever done anything like this.
Okay, all right. So I'll be painless.
Gentle, yes.
I'll be gentle. Yes, unlike you in some of your scenes.
Just a tip.
So tell me a little bit about Masked Jock and how he got started in the industry.
I can't remember the year, but this was about the time OnlyFans had started. There are creators making content, and I would see them posting on Twitter and all that good stuff. And I thought, we can go back and talk about it, but I've been obsessed with porn forever. So I was a big fan of porn and all the actors. And when content creating started, I would see that occasionally they would look for people to shoot with. And I had seen a couple of people with no faces shooting with these porn stars. And I thought, well, if I could have sex with a porn star, I would do that. One day there was a particular creator in town, Diego Grant.
Okay.
Diego Grant was in town, and I reached out to him via Twitter and said, hey, I'd love to shoot a scene with you. I just can't show my face. Is that okay? And he said, sure, why not? And I showed up at his hotel room, and I brought a mask with me just in case. I didn't know whether he would be able to cut my face off so being the planner that I am, I brought it just in case. And so we decided to use it. And that was kind of the first foray into it. It went well. I was, over the moon that I was having sex with a porn star. It was like a dream come true. And the fact that I could do it and live out this fantasy, but still not have my face out there was amazing. That kind of was the beginning of it. From there, once I had that done, I kind of took that. He posted the video, and I kind of then had proof of it. So, as porn stars started to come into town, I'd say, hey,
This is
would
me.
shoot. And here's a little clip of what I've done. And they'd say, okay. And it kind of went from there.
Okay, so you have your first scene out
Yes.
with Diego Grant,
Yes.
and you are now talking to other models, talking to other content creators, other performers. Where did the name finally come from? When did Masked Jock become Masked Jock?
It's hard to remember, but I remember putting out a tweet saying, hey, I need a name. Because at the time I was Hot Equinox Jock at the time. Okay. And I needed a name. And so I gave out like options, Masked Jock, or like a name, like a regular name, like Johnny Toucans. And the people that were following me at the time voted for Masked Jock. And so that's what stuck, I thought.
Could you safely say that you're the most popular masked porn content creator out there?
I don't know. Sometimes I think I am, but then I'm not sure. I couldn't tell you for sure. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Maybe you paved the way.
Maybe. I have a lot of people who reach out to me and ask where I get my masks and ask me how I got into it. And, I tell them what I can. But I think it's not easy.
I always get this like lucha libre thing, right? Because, a lot of the guys wear masks, all the heels, for protection and stuff, which creates kind of a subculture of fetish. Do you get reached out by people that are like, oh, wow, I love the fact that we can't see you. I love...
Yes,
okay.
All the time. They love the idea of someone masked coming into their homes and, throwing them on the bed and having their way. Like, that's a fantasy they live out, and I'm happy to give them that fantasy.
It also helps that you're very well in shape and do a good job. So tell me, we spoke a little bit about porn,
Yes.
right? Before we get back into like present day and stuff and what you want to do, what was your relationship like with porn growing up?
At an early age, I would say 12, I was into porn. I had a family member who had a lot of straight porn stacked in their room, and I'd find every opportunity to go there when he was not home, and I'd go through the magazines. Puritan, I remember, was a big magazine back then. Of course, Hustler, and a lot of videos. I was obsessed with straight porn. I loved the actresses. I loved the actors. I learned who the good ones were, the good companies were, the good models. Big fan of Tracy Lords, Terry Weigel, Peter North,
The
TT Boy.
Yeah, TT Boy. God, I love him.
And I was really obsessed with the women who were over the top, like the ones who like screamed and
like Asia
were, like,
Carrera.
yes, over the top. Those are the ones that did it to me the most. So that's transferred over to, in gay porn, like the guys who are the most verbal are the ones that I can't get enough of. Meanwhile, I'm not that verbal, but it really gets me off. So that's how it kind of started. And then, at some point I was old enough to go buy my own porn. And so I started to like buy the gay porn, and just like the straight stuff, I learned the good studios, learned the good performers, and I've been a connoisseur. I mean, I've followed it all since I've been 12 years old. I followed it. So I've always loved porn. Always.
Watching straight porn and, so you watch the women too?
Yes.
Do you identify as just gay, or do you also find female content creators out there and do some scenes with them?
I think I identify as gay. I could definitely have sex with a woman and enjoy it, and I have, and I would do scenes with them, but I wouldn't be in a relationship with a woman. I wouldn't fall in love with a woman.
Okay.
It's just more of a sexual thing. So to me, that's identifying as gay. I don't think it's bi still. I think it's like gay.
Yeah, no, for sure. I see women all the time that I think are beautiful, and could I get it up? Yeah, sure. Why not? But I'm not,
Yeah.
I don't want to roll over and, it's nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, right? I enjoy rolling over and seeing my boyfriend next to me.
Right.
Okay, so early on, you've had access to porn.
Yes.
It's developed who you are, or had this idea that, okay, I can have this life, but I can also have a separate life where I am able to fulfill my sexual fantasy of being a porn content creator, porn model. At this point, you're a porn star. Are you international? Do people, like, your fans are worldwide, or?
Yeah, I have a lot of Asian fans.
Yeah, okay.
I think that has to do with the mask. I think the masks are big over there. And in fact, little known secret, I get my masks imported from there. I buy very specific masks. A lot of people ask me where I get them, and I don't. It's a trade secret.
Okay.
Yeah, so they seem to be big over there, and I have a lot of fans from Asia.
You have a lot of masks as well.
I have a lot of masks. I have, I would count, I'd say I have 10 masks, and I'm still looking for, if anybody out there can help me out, I want custom masks done. I've asked around, and it seems to be an impossibility, and I don't understand why. But yeah, I'm looking to expand the repertoire and get some more real, different kind of stuff.
Off cam, we talked a little bit about this, but I would love to kind of get an idea of your childhood. Whatever you can, whatever insight you can give me about the Little Masked Jock.
I mean, Little Masked Jock was super nerdy, made fun of. Yeah, he was very shy and quiet. You would never think that he had this perverse side in him, but he did.
Let's talk a little bit about coming out. All right, or being gay. Were you? When did you realize, as an adolescent, or So when did you realize that you were gay?
I think I realized it at a super young age. I thought, watching sitcoms, I thought Kirk Cameron was hot. Like, I would look at him before I looked at the sister. So it was fairly early that I knew I wouldn't didn't put a label on it then, but I just knew that I liked the guys. And so I really tried to fight against that because I had family members who, you know, would always ask me, do you have a girlfriend? Do you have a girlfriend? And I never did. And it was hard to like, I didn't want to, disappoint them. So for a long time, I, you know, made efforts to date girls. I kind of blame this is funny or not funny, but I kind of blame girls. I say, you know, for being gay because I did make an effort. I'd ask girls out and I constantly got denied. I constantly got shut down. I'm like, well, girls don't like me. And at some point, guys started to come up to me. So, you know, and be interested. And I go, well, I'm just meant to be. Like, I tried. So you don't want anything to do with me.
At what point did guys start coming up to you?
It was probably in high school. In high school was my first gay experience with a classmate, and we'd go into the closet at his house. And, you know, it started with just jacking each other off. Then it became blowjobs. And then at one point, I tried to have sex. He bottomed, but we were just, you know, we were like 14 years old.
What to do?
We didn't have lube. Nobody douched. It's like me trying to like stick my dick in a tight hole. So it wasn't very good. But that wasn't
successful.
It was not successful.
But the attempt was there.
And that was, so that was, I was getting attention from a guy, and none of the girls were looking at me and didn't want anything to do with me. So
it was dark in the closet, I assume.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So you guys didn't even see each other.
No, I mean, we knew who each other were, but no, we didn't see each other. But we graduated from that to then doing it outside of the closet, in the bed. There's a lot of masturbation. We didn't like attempt to do that a lot because we didn't want to get caught. So it was just easier to masturbate.
Was high school was away?
High school was away. I was out of state. And then college was away. I was out of state. And college, I did have some gay experiences at the time. When I was in college, they'd have ads in the paper. So
I'm right there with you. I remember those very well.
You'd meet this random person at a place. You dial a number. Actually, this is the way it worked. I would call the number, and then you would leave a message, and then that person would get your message. And if they wanted to respond to you, there'd be a voicemail box that you'd call back into, and you'd hear the message. Then they'd say a meeting place, and that's what you did. And so
isn't that crazy? Isn't that amazing how literally you can go on Grindr or any of these apps now and find this person within seconds?
Yeah.
You'd have to wait 2 fucking weeks. So, you know, I'm thinking about the people that would write letters. I was watching this movie the other day. It takes place in the 70s. And it's basically, you know, this little print ad, like, this is what I like, and blah, blah, blah. And then you'd write that person, wait a week, and then they'd write back. It's insane. Yeah. Maybe you'll get a picture, maybe not. I don't know if it was a blind date or not, but it's crazy how easy it is today to get everything.
I mean, they're so lucky, the kids today and the younger generation, because it was hard.
If I'm not mistaken, we might be contemporaries when it comes to time frame. So we got to see the best of everything when it comes to the rise of the internet. Gay, remember gay.com? Okay, so gay.com, Manhunt. I don't know how popular they still are, but that was the way to do it before.
Manhunt was the very beginning.
Yeah, the GPS system finally. Okay, well, this guy's 6 feet away from me. You know? When you think of this persona that you have, Masked Jock, and your everyday life, how hard is it to kind of maintain both of those?
Extremely hard. I mean, obviously, the mask is a fetish, so it's become a thing.
Is it a fetish for you?
Not so much for me.
Okay.
I tend to not really want to shoot with other people with masks. We're going to a different topic here. What a lot of people don't know is I'm a niche. So it's not like, you know, I get a lot of people who want to get into it, and I have to explain to them, you're not going to get into this and become over the top popular instantly. And you're not ever, I feel, my opinion, going to make the kind of money any person who shows their faces. So you really have to like be okay with that, because you're for a particular audience. You're not for everybody.
So are you doing this? Is this like a hobby?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
I do it because I like to do it. I get to have sex with a lot of amazing guys. I've met a lot of amazing guys, and we become friends. And that was something I never expected, like how normal all these guys are and how cool. And it's opened my eyes to a lot, because that was something I never knew. I just thought porn stars were, arrogant. I thought I wanted to have sex with them, but I thought they'd, be arrogant and they'd be like an A-list star. And
Some of them are.
Some of them are, I guess. But I haven't met the many that are like that. They've all been really like sweet for the most part. And that's been really eye-opening to me. And what I wish the broader audience knew, that these guys are not drug addicts and degenerates and gross, and they have normal lives. They're normal guys, and they just do this like anybody else, like a job. And so I applaud them, because it's really hard work,
especially now,
especially now
with the fan sites. I always say it's like being your own production company. You have to know how to do all this stuff. You have to cast, right? And what we were talking about before, flakes. Like you're going to constantly get people. If you set up 6 shoots in 1 week, you'll probably do 3 if you're lucky, So we were talking a little bit about, so the balancing act of your life and Masked Jock,
right.
and it being hard. Do you ever see a time where the mask would come off?
No, I get asked that question a lot. No, I mean, it's a kind of I hate to use this word because it's so like annoying when I hear people use it, but it's like a brand. So without the mask, what is there? There's no mask. The artist formerly known as Masked Jock. And I don't want to pursue this as my main career. So there's no reason for me to do it ever. It's never going to come off. No.
And you found this niche fame through it. So you're kind of the example of, hey, you can do this and not have to show your face.
Yes.
And that's what I think is very intriguing. That's why I think we had been in touch maybe a year ago. I wanted to go. I was in LA, I think, and I did want to meet up. However, I know how busy schedules can be and how crazy it is. So when I saw you were somewhere, I said, hey, let's see if we can get this going. I'm intrigued by the fact that I've been in this industry for a long time. And when someone's like, I want to do this, but I don't want to show my face, I've just kind of been told, well, no, they're not going to be in the scene.
Right.
Even though, I think that, like you said, you are kind of, you're in this niche. People do want to see that.
Yeah.
There are people that have this fantasy of not seeing who's behind them, where there's, I just did a scene the other day called Blindfolded Bottom. So yeah, I think you're fine.
I've had a really popular content creator, come to me and said he's spoken with a very well-respected director from a big studio and showed him my stuff, said I shot with him, like, would you use him? And he said, absolutely. Like, tell him to call me and we'll work with the mask. I can't do it. I thought about it for a second, go, how cool would that be? But it's, I'm okay where I am.
Okay.
I'm not looking for that kind of exposure.
You think it's cool. However, you don't really need to go into studio porn.
No.
Okay.
No.
When I was downstairs, I was like, is he going to come out in a mask? Is he going to I was curious.
Yes.
And I put my phone away. I put everything away because I wanted to I wanted you to know that you can trust me when it comes to this stuff. But you would have to literally walk in.
Yeah.
Like we're talking about events, right? When you walk into an event, you kind of already have to have your mask on.
Yes.
Okay.
I like this past year I attended the KVNs, and I was there with a mask. And so it can get a little bit, cumbersome because you have the mask on the entire time.
How do you drink? How do you have
right, exactly. So there are lots of events I do attend, and I just don't say I'm there, and I just show up as like everybody else.
I see. Okay.
So that I can enjoy myself and have a good time. And then, I end up meeting people and I go, hey, I'm Masked Jock. And they go, oh my God, that's you. And it's what still freaks me out is that they know who I am because I'm like, you're big giant porn star, like you know who I am. It's just, I get overwhelmed every time. It's just nuts.
I think there's a good level of secrecy when it comes to or discretion when it comes to that. So I think that like for instance, Joel Someone.
Yeah.
I spoke to him and he's like, "Oh yeah, what a lovely man. What a lovely man, Masked Jock, Masked Jock." And I'm like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah, he's a great guy." But yeah, like I think that when it comes to your discretion, I think you're good, but yeah, you always have to live with that idea that somebody can possibly take a picture, take a snapshot, do this, do that, or post who you are.
And I don't think it's, I really don't think it would be a creator who would do that. I think if anything, it's a follower or somebody who just is an asshole.
Yeah.
Is really out to destroy somebody like that, which I don't understand. But yeah, all the creators have been really great about it. In fact, a little known fact is I've never sent my face to any creator before shooting with them. So these guys shoot with me sight unseen. This is even from Diego Grant. Like I have always been that super discreet. So it's amazing that it's gotten to this level because, I mean, at some point they're like, well, I guess I'm going to shoot with him because everybody else has. But I've probably gotten 5 no's that said, I won't do it unless I see you. And I'd said, okay, I totally understand.
Yeah, fine.
But otherwise,
get off my ass.
They've all like said, okay, and they've taken a chance.
I'm not going to lie. I mean, if you sent me your picture, I don't have to see the face and be like, oh, well, you know, this guy definitely, he's in shape and he looks good. And after seeing your videos, I'm like, all right, well, he knows what he's doing.
Right.
You know, so, and, you know, you can kind of, I don't know. I guess maybe because I'm staring at you long enough, I finally found your eye.
Yeah.
A lot of performers, a lot of porn stars, a lot of content creators, they have what they would consider a lifespan on how long they would be doing content. What would you say, or how long do you foresee yourself doing content as Masked Jock?
I've thought about this a lot recently, and I'm thinking that there is an end game for me. I could see it being in the next year and a half. I love doing it and it's great, but you know, it is a lot of work. I have a normal 9-to-5 job that comes first. That's my career, and it's actually getting busier and busier. So it's hard to juggle both things, to shoot content, schedule content, edit the content, promote the content, get it out weekly, and do my job. Personally, for me, and I don't know about anybody else, OnlyFans is giving a lot of issues, taking a lot of content down. Twitter is getting a little bit wonky as well. So it's getting a little tenuous, I feel. So
looking a little grim.
Yeah, it's looking a little bit grim. I don't want to be the person to have its grim outlook, but I don't know where it's going. So I kind of starting to plan an end game, I think. It could change, but I'm thinking a year and a half I might.
Do you think, because this is not supplementary, but it's kind of like a side hustle, let's say, right?
Yeah.
Fun side hustle.
Yep.
Where do you think content creators who don't have a side hustle could go if we're kind of foreseeing something happening on social media, on platforms like X, on platforms like OnlyFans that made their money on the backs of content creators? What would be a good alternative plan? Do you have any opinion on that?
I mean, personally, I'm a fan of the other sites. Just for Fans, I think, is an amazing site. They have a lot of tools that people are unaware of that make it very simple to use and share content with other creators. And, you know, there's a lot that they have. I won't go into the specifics and about it because there's a lot. But personally, what I would do is, and I've already gone and like bought my domain name and my hosting site. And so should OnlyFans go down or should Twitter go away, I have a good base at Just for Fans, and I just have to like supplement it with getting the Masked Jock website out. And I think that you can still continue as long as you have that planned for. I personally don't think you need OnlyFans at all. I think it's you don't. Twitter helps with promotion, absolutely. And so in that respect, I don't know what the next thing would be to get that kind of promotion, but I think...
do you think it's going to be Threads?
No.
No. How about TikTok?
I mean, it could be TikTok, but it'd be, like Instagram. Instagram, I think, is okay. They haven't ever taken down anything I've put up there. I mean, I don't show, nudity or anything, but they're okay. And I get a lot of
Well, see, yeah, that's the luxury of X is that even if, because Twitter, well, X formerly known as Twitter, has kind of existed with this real world, let's say, and then almost like the real world, the underbelly of Twitter. Because that's what we are. If we think about it, we exist shadow banned from everybody, yet we're kind of this little ecosystem of porn content creators, producers, directors, actors, models, all that stuff. But it's amazing how many followers you can have still without being, a political figure or TV figure or anything like that.
Right. I mean, I think before Twitter, to me, there was Tumblr.
Okay.
Tumblr went away, and then Twitter exploded, I think, for me. So I think there's going to be something. Nobody's not going to do something. Nobody's going to be ridiculous and say, oh, I'm not going to build something where everybody can go. So I think there's going to be something.
Yeah.
It's just what it is now.
We just don't know.
We don't know.
Are there any major porn stars in studios? Oh, actually, any major porn stars in studios, past and present, that you would have been like, oh, well, I would have slept with this person. I
mean, they're going to be guys from the past that probably the younger audience doesn't know, but Ken Riker was I was a big fan of Ken Riker. I was a big fan of Jeff Stryker, Ryan Idle.
Jeff Stryker. I have been hounding him. I'm trying to make a documentary about him. He's trying to make a documentary about him. Yeah. I've been hounding him like crazy.
Yes. I mean, legend.
Well, I mean, there. When you know you're a legend, it's not easy.
Yeah, sure.
Hopefully that happens. But okay, so one of the reasonings for that question is kind of trying to get to see if you have a type.
Yeah.
Right. So you like built guys.
I like built guy. I do like built guys, but what has been great about content creation is it's opened my eyes to so many different body types. Like doing this, I've met twinkie guys, I've met chubby guys, I've shot with all nationalities, and it's not like what I would have thought I'd be interested in, but I have, there's a connection. I found I can make a connection with people no matter what they look like, body wise. So it's been fascinating for that. It really has. Now I see a little twink and I go, oh, he's kind of hot. Or I see a little.
I could do so.
Yeah. So, but if you ask me, I have a pick a type, yes, he's going to be muscly, probably blonde. I mean, I've as a kid, I would gravitate towards these, corn-fed blonde.
Yeah. Well, we grew up looking at that.
Yes, so that's the ideal. Person to me. Yes.
As I mentioned before, I'm doing the history of gay erotica from the late 60s to the early 70s so far for this season. And I have yet to do a black or Latin model. And I'm like, okay, it's coming. The 80s are right around the corner. It's coming. I had two questions that I wanted to ask you. Definitely one of them was with the mask.
Yeah.
Right? Do you yourself find it at any point a security blanket, would you say? Outside of being something, you're disguising who you are, but
yeah, Halloween's my favorite holiday, and I find that there's something freeing about being somebody else. There's just something about it, you're pretending to be another person who's not you, and something of that speaks to me. I just love it.
You have to get off on that. Some part of you has to. The idea that nobody knows who you are. That's crazy. That's fun.
It's amazing. Yes, that part is. That's what. Yes. Yes.
Are there any other things that you would want to get into before you do kind of wrap it up? when it comes to content creation?
I would like to get a scene done with a girl, not a one-on-one scene, but I would like a scene with a guy and a girl. I want to get one of those in. That would be something I'd want to do finally. Because again, we talked, I am attracted to women in the sexual way. So I think it would be hot to do. I had my first scene with a trans person, triple X trans man. And that was,
yeah. I did see that.
That was eye-opening too. Because I had never had that experience, and he was really great about like guiding me through it, I guess you could say. And it was really, really hot. So yeah, I think that's the one thing that I think I have left to do. I've done pretty much everything else.
You've done fisting. You've done.
Well, I'm not into fisting.
Okay.
There's nothing about it that that gets me off. Like it has to get me off in some way or make me hot. Like I've done water sports.
I was gonna ask like dungeony scenes.
Yeah, I've done all the fisting's the one kind of place I haven't gone and don't think I would go. And then a bi scene. Yeah.
What's one of the one times you've walked into a place and been like, wow, like I'm fucking doing this?
An event, you mean, or like a room, like
maybe like a collaboration?
Oh, I mean, there've been a lot of times when I've walked in the room and it's like somebody huge to me, and I go, "Oh wow." Devin Franco was a big because I was a huge fan and he's humongous, and so I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" Like I can't believe he's gonna have sex with me. Michael Boston. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot that I've been in. It's weird because I don't want to seem like a fangirl, but it's like I'm inside going, oh my God, I can't believe this guy wants to have sex with me.
Yeah, it's unreal sometimes.
Yeah,
I can only imagine.
Because I'm just a normal guy off the street. To me, I don't consider myself anything special. So
have there been situations and collaborations where you're like, I am not feeling this at all?
Yes. I don't think there's been any collaboration where we just didn't do it, but there have been, unfortunately, some where the chemistry's not there and you just are trying to just get it done. And that's unfortunate because I don't do this. I'm not like a studio and I'm not getting paid from a studio. So, why go through with it? But you're kind of in it. And so I think I'm hoping like, okay, the kissing might be good, but the sex is going to be good. And then like, okay, well, doggy's not good, but if I turn him around, then that's going to be good. And then before you know it, none of it was good. And you're just like, okay, we're done. So
when that happens, do you still release it? Or do you and this person come to an agreement like, okay, well, maybe that wasn't what it could have, that wasn't the moment. Let's just say.
Some of them I have because it doesn't look like I thought it was.
Okay.
I have never with the other person had a conversation said this was bad, like to you. So that's never taken place. And there's a lot of times on the other hand, on the other side of that, where I've thought we had amazing chemistry and like, oh my God, it was so hot. And then I leave going, I wonder if he thought it was as hot as I am. I wonder is he gonna DM me later and say, oh my God, that was so hot. And then, sometimes they do and sometimes don't. When they don't, I'm like, oh, you must have thought it was terrible. And I'm here thinking it was like the best thing that ever happened.
So even Masked Jock has these thoughts.
Yes.
Right?
Uh-huh.
Has Masked Jock ever gotten flaked on?
All the time, yeah.
All the time?
I mean, yes, there have been, countless times. I've come to get used to it. I think everybody can say that it's happened a lot. Yeah. I mean, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like the people that would do that are people that are insanely popular or people that have no idea who they're doing a scene with.
Yeah.
Does it happen to fall in those directions, or is it, just shit didn't work out, there's excuses, or is it just plain old work ethic?
Usually it's somebody who's not insanely popular. It's somebody who's middle of the road or not just starting out.
Okay.
Usually, most often, it's somebody who's got a following, but they're not huge. They're not new. And they just don't show up or cancel at the last minute, ghost. And then you just, put them on the list of no Not even ever again.
Never again.
And oftentimes they will eventually get a hold of you and say, oh, hey, I didn't show up 3 days ago because. And you go, okay, well.
Yeah, too little, too late. Have you ever dispensed advice to any models? And if so, because, this is a very hard business. Mm-hmm. Have you ever met somebody that you're like, okay, this person needs a little help, or this person needs just like a push?
Yeah, and it goes both ways. There's like, when we get together to shoot, there's not just like you show up and you have sex. Like a lot of times we trade like information, like, oh, you use that kind of tripod, and what camera are you using, and what app are you using to edit? Oh my gosh. And yeah, so it's like a lot of exchange of information and camaraderie and like helping each other out. And that happens all the time. And yeah, I get people who don't use masks who I shoot with and say, hey, I'm trying to grow my base. Like, what do you suggest? Or what ideas do you have? Or who do you think I should shoot with? Who would work for me? And of course, I'm always happy to tell them what I think or what I know, but it has been really collaborative with everybody. Everybody's really, really nice. Which is like, again, I can't stress enough how nice and respectful and that a lot of the people are.
Have you ever wanted, or have you ever done cosplay?
I mean, to me, what's a cosplay? Because it's like I've worn costumes.
Well, like, have you done like Spider-Man?
Yes.
Okay, so you have done scenes like that.
I've done, okay, so for a couple of years I did Halloween theme scenes, and so I dressed up in a full Jason Voorhees Friday the 13th, the whole thing, and shot a scene, and I did it as Michael Myers, and I did it as the fisherman from I Know What You Did Last Summer. And I did one as a Santa Claus. So yes, I did the whole get up.
Deadpool. Have you, that would be one I'd love to see.
I haven't done Deadpool. I did a photo shoot as Spider-Man, but I didn't shoot as Spider-Man. But yes, Deadpool, I've been meaning to actually get the entire costume.
Yeah, there's a market for that.
Yes, there is a market for that.
I feel like if I had any requests to make from the Masked Jock, it would be, hey, it would be really, really hot if you just like cut, a little hole in.
Yeah.
Went to town like that.
There is a certain site that will make all the costumes and put the zipper in.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So yes, I've looked into it for sure.
I don't want to take up too much more of your time. I absolutely appreciate that you were able to carve out some time for me. When people who don't know who the Masked Jock is want to find you, where would they go?
They go to X, formerly known as Twitter, at Masked Jock. And I have an Instagram, the only Masked Jock, and OnlyFans Masked Jock, just for fans Masked Jock, for my fans Masked Jock. And that's probably it. No TikTok.
No TikTok. Well, TikTok is hard.
Yeah.
TikTok is.
And I'm not, I've fiddled with it, and I'm not, but you have to learn. I'm in awe of these, 10-year-olds that can work at TikTok, because I'm like, I have
40,000 followers on TikTok.
It's not intuitive to me.
Before we go, is there any possibility I can see what's under the hood?
Sure.
You've been watching Demystifying Gay Porn. I'm your host, Ike Grande. Demystifying Gay Porn is available on every podcast directory, as well as YouTube. Demystifying Gay Porn is on X, Instagram, Facebook, Telegram.
And if you like what you're watching or listening to and want to be a part of the creative process, head over to patreon.com/demystifying gay porn, where you can help support this audiovisual podcast and YouTube channel, and I can continue making content like you've just enjoyed. Once again, this is Demystifying Gay Porn. My name is Ike Grande, and if you watch gay porn, I've definitely helped to get off. Cheers.